Welcome to Komuniti Footprints. I'm Hannah Jaku. With the anniversary of Digicel PNG Foundation celebrating its 12 years this month, we'd like to share a project that we're extremely proud of, and one that again impacted many families. Cheshire Homes Disability Services is well known to Port Moresby residents as a place that provides care and therapy to persons with disabilities. Several years ago, Digicel PNG Foundation built a double classroom at the centre, then last year refurbished the classroom building and playground. But this organization is more than just that. It's a home, it's a haven, and it's a safe space for those extra special people in our societies. This is just one story.
My name is Jerry Henson, and I was born blind. I'm a disability advocate. I want to help open people's eyes to the ones who are struggling around them.
No need for validation, no need congratulation.
For me to talk about Jade story, it's really emotional, and sometimes I cannot control myself. I'm just trying to say something, but it's very hard for me to say. So when we took her, we found out that she had the sickness. I didn't want to let her go. I just kept her. I have to quit my job, come back to Moresby, and like those sort of expenses that come in challenging it. So what we did was we did a roadside stall selling food. From there we were earning a little bit of things, look after Jade, and from there when the Cheshire came in with the support of Digicel Foundation, it was stepping stone. We just all contributed, we all worked together. We're trying to see Jade as a normal child. Our program is about community-based rehabilitation. It's based on the team Cheshire identifying those who are in need, especially those who are disabled, to help the family, to help the person who is in need, just to support him or her to do things that he or she is unable to do. There's a lot of things that they have done in this program. It's like they're opening doors to families who are unable to do these things, because when you're talking about the rehabilitation, it's about the person who have that experience to at least do the procedure so that people like us who are not familiar with it can follow through. And that's what they did. And that is why I'm really happy about Digicel Foundation, because through this foundation, see what they did to Jade, If I were to ignore this situation, she wouldn't be like this. So every Thursday at Cheshire, we would take her early in the morning, took a massage, at physiotherapy. Need to strategize in time, getting up very early, cooking, setting out food for a mother to sell, while I go back again and look after her, do some massaging, and then feed her again. One of the things that really was special thing about the family is that the widow, the mother and the auntie, they contributed a lot, stepping in, helping us, looking after while we go to our market, do messaging. I mean, those are the things that really help. It's like a family bonding. We had our responsibilities because of Jade, for her sake. She graduated last year from Cheshire. I was overwhelmed. I was so happy with the teachers, the workers out there. I mean, they come from different provinces, but when they came in, we team up as a family. So in any which way they did their support, helping them get through as well. So it was I really appreciate what they did. One of the very struggling things was to get buses from here, take her up to Ola. I was trying to understand the situation, just to struggle with her. I would have to learn what she was going through. So I had that suffering, so I need to go with her. I need to struggle with her. But she was very happy to get on the bus. It was really exciting for her. Just trying to thank the Cheshire team, the field workers, the management. I mean, they've stepped in to utilize this program to make it happen. And I believe there are some other people out there who need this help as well. And without Digicel, this wouldn't have gone this far. And because of the support that they are giving, the foundation, the Digicel Foundation, the support they're giving, it's helping us, the parents who are struggling, who are suffering.
Life can be tough for persons with disabilities and their families, but when organizations like the Cheshire Homes Disability Services is supported by partners like Digicel PNG Foundation, we get life-changing outcomes every day.
After 12 years of nation building, we have invested over 135 million kina into health and education projects all over the country. We envision a nation where there is equal access to opportunities so that no one is left behind. By leveraging Digicel's mobile network, we are reaching PNG's most rural areas. We provide support to our partners through grants and capacity building and provide a platform to share our collective story of change. We want to see a connected, educated, safe, and healthy PNG. Visit our website to learn more about our work. Digicel Foundation, your partner in nation building.
Digicel PNG Foundation's focus on providing services for persons with disabilities is done through two key programs: support for vulnerable women and children at risk through the We Care Foundation, and the community-based rehabilitation program done in partnership with Cheshire Homes Disability Services. To date, over 1,400 people have been directly impacted.
So Cheshire PNG is one of the longest disability service providers, and we are guided by strategic plans that are all aligned to the government development priorities. And basically our focus as a service provider is to look at the prevention of disabilities and prevention of impairments, because we recognize that many health conditions such as infectious diseases, such as maternal child health complications, such as polio, are the main causes of impairments, which then would result in disability. So our main focus, one, is to prevent. We also now look at providing the rehabilitation services and the medical services for those people that have been identified in our programs. The key aspect of this is to make sure that people who have had various impairments receive the rehabilitation services that they need, they receive the medical services that they need, and they also receive the assistive devices that they need. And then after that, we are focused on ensuring that these people finally get to be socially included in society. So partly what we have to do is by supporting them through the health component, going through education component, we try to make sure that they are also socially included in the society by being able to participate actively in the development of the country and in their own personal development. Perhaps one question you might ask is, how do we get to know where they are and how do we support them? First, as you know, that disability is still a very stigmatized condition in many countries, including Papua New Guinea. And many of these people tend to be isolated or stigmatized wherever they live. So one of the things that we do is we try to reach out to where they are. And this is where we use an approach called the CBR. Community-based rehabilitation is a WHO approach which ensures that the service deliveries, including health, education, social, livelihood, and empowerment, all take place where people live. You take the services to them instead of waiting for them to come to you. And how we get there is we try to upskill people who are, we call them community-based rehabilitation workers. We equip them with enough skills so that they are able to liaise with the communities and to identify those people who have these disabilities. Then our technically trained staff, who include the nurses, the physiotherapists, the paracounselors, and our partners, are now able to give them some skill developments, and they are able to provide all the holistic support that these people need in order for them to be socially integrated into the community.
Mi plan no bin save lo. Mi tatin body or this la mi plan only beginning in la house na staff here, but mi plan are most se home staff so. Mi plan go na all staffs inside, want the Mary, na Petrisa, na Laka, na all staffs inside them. All mi plan been work one time, na all been helping mi plan lo line him. How lo mi tatin body. Happy man? Okay, all in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now all been talking me lo waki wasen back so me so map him this la 4 pla lig na 1 pla big pla lo support him lo sit down. So now send back. So now Linty but sit down.
So dealing with these kind of conditions that we deal with is not something very simple. It requires a lot of concerted efforts, not only from service providers like Cheshire, but it requires a lot of multi-sectoral approach. And this is where we have the good partnership from people like Digicel Foundation, who have been with us for many, many years now. And through them, we have actually achieved so many success stories. But one thing that people don't realize, that the moment you do not support people with disabilities or with impairments, what you encourage is for them to be dependent on others. They have to just sit back and wait for handouts to come. So basically, our approach looks at getting somebody from the unknown, which is from a health perspective, taking the person through education process, through livelihoods, social until empowerment, where they are able to make their own decisions and they are able to invest in their own lives and be able to support others, so that even if you have a disability, you are not seen as a dependent person, but you can also be depended upon by other people, including your family.
My name is Isabella Kila. I come from Central Province and I'm a final year law student. I was first introduced in Cheshire Homes in 2001. From 2001 to 2004, I attended Cheshire Homes, and in Cheshire Homes, I was taught how to read, how to write, how to do basic things that an able-bodied person could do. In 2005, I was then introduced into a mainstream school. I'd say the most difficult times in my education journey was in the primary sector, in the primary schools, because in there I was first introduced in mainstream schools, and it was totally a different or a new experience in my life, coming to know some able-bodied students, not really like knowing how they think, and it was quite difficult to go through discrimination, stereotypes, and look at buildings which were not accessible, most of them, for my wheelchair, and it was a very big challenge. And And I wanted to give up at some point, and I wanted to just go back home, like to a place where I'm comfortable in. I wanted to go back to Cheshire Homes, but then like they told me that, oh, you are able to overcome, you are able to cope with able-bodied students, so you just give it a try. I wanted to go back home and like lock myself in the house, so that I feel comfortable there. I didn't want to be in a place where like I'm not comfortable. But then I was reminded by my parents, by my friends, that you cannot achieve something if you lock yourself or if you hide yourself. And that's when I continued my primary from grade 2 to grade 8. So after during our grade 8 exams, I sat for the same exams that everyone was sitting. I did the same papers in the same room, the same timing. I wasn't required. I wasn't required to get a special treatment or a special timing. Everything was just okay. I was already mature and I was already growing, so I think I didn't really go through hard situation, hard times in my high school and in my secondary school. Then in 2016, when the lists came out, I was selected to come here to UPNG to take law. It was a totally different experience altogether. I mean, being in a premier institution as such, and especially taking law, I didn't imagine myself taking law. I didn't imagine myself, sitting up and briefing cases or those kind of law things. But then like I was thankful to my parents, and I was thankful to God that like his plans are his plans. So I cannot say no to the opportunities that come, the doors that open to me. I cannot say no. So I was happy, and I came into UPNG, taking my first year. And I mean, of course, it was like, it's tough, especially in assessments, or some of the buildings that they were not accessible for me to attend classes. When it came to buildings that were not accessible, I would tell the lecturers to maybe put their classes at the ground level so that I can attend their classes. And all of the lecturers are understanding, so they did. This institution, I understand the fact that this institution was built for a long time. So at that time, people with special needs never attended schools or never came into institutions, universities or colleges. So I understand the fact that it's not built for persons with special needs. But I'm still in the journey, and I'm happy to be here. I'm proud to be here, and I'm thankful and blessed to be here to attend. So I would like to be a lawyer one day, to be a human rights lawyer, but specifically working on policy making and legislative drafting, and so that I can probably draft some legislations or laws to protect the rights of special needs in this nation.
We'll have more after this break.
PNG Assembly of Disabled Persons is responsible for advocating for rights of persons with disabilities in Papua New Guinea. So PNG Assembly of Disabled Persons is like the umbrella organization for all the disabled persons organizations throughout Papua New Guinea. At the end of the day, I guess it's being able to access services on an equal basis with everybody else, so that you leave no one behind, and you ensure that the persons with disabilities actually get those services that they need. So the PNG Assembly of Disabled Persons, we believe that there is nothing about us without us, and for inclusive development to take place, it's about leaving no one behind. Because we all have our roles to play, whether you are in a government or in private sector, it's how you accommodate persons with disability. And I think one of the big issues too that we have is employment of persons with disability. I think a lot of employers kind of tend to ignore persons with disability because they don't believe that they have the skills to actually be engaged in the workforce. So there's a whole lot of different issues that I think everybody has a part in, contributing and addressing these issues.
Be welcoming back one and listener, ipla putin yao already umare na harin program bambla. Ipla serves the foundation bambla plus work inside a settlement. So me plus will go home based visit. Lo one online only staff inside the house blow yet or one community only staff.
Thank you, through Josina, Father, and I'll get a good listeners to Radio Maria. Me been identify multisla disabled line staff in Selo settlement. So this la tu me one bla area where me bla looking most and big plan need. Na in Selo country you mean got plan the social service line where look disability. Lo here me bla got Kalan services one time shesheo moli tepi lodisla. Tasol mi pla wiki mi pla base in Selo all settlement. Na time mi pla been making one pla visit round. Me wanted to see in Selo 2012. Mi pla been kamosem lo tokorara. Na mi pla been find him out. Plenty old man Mary only been stabbed in Selo house tasol. Na sampla oli na blo go lo school or kain but oli no kat money all papa mama I pain him hard lo pay him school fee or kain oli been stabbed lo house tasol. Mosem na Wicked Foundation I try lo help him all picking in up lo go lo school longan mi pla bin buy him school people na transport fee long share home by all go lo school. So now me plaka plenty all picking staff lo mainstream schools. Sampla all go lo elementary school because share home also training more lo how lo write.
Naropla support where me pesa we give him all kai. The special meal al kai pesa give him lo severely disabled pikinini and then the whole family. Where me pesa we give kai through donations. Na one per donation and me pesa give him every Friday lo 9 Mile Farm, and then all Catholic schools too when they have the offertory mass now come give kai or whoever come and give us any food. Me pesa go home based visit na give him this small kai. An area that really online only need him and kai good nutritious meal. It's a good pla kai you may give him and by strong embodied by me pla.
Being blind since birth, I've written books. So far I've written 6 books. And then, I decided to walk the Kokoda Trail. And the purpose of me walking the Kokoda Trail is to highlight everyday challenges that are faced by blind people or all disabled people and how they overcome everyday challenges in life. And in PNG especially to do so, I find it a bit difficult or it's a bit tough because the main barrier which I found based on my experiences, like the ignorance. And I quote, "Your ignorance is my disability." There are some of us who are walking alone because we want to change things fast. But to go far, we need to work together. Just take a minute to find someone that you can support. You may find that it also opens your eyes to so many beautiful adventures and brings joy into your life. A real joy in life is to achieve something that people think you cannot achieve.
We commend the management and staff of the Cheshire Homes Disability Services and everyone that gives of their time, effort, and heart. Digicel PNG Foundation is proud to make our communities inclusive, ensuring that no one gets left behind. Remember, learning never stops. In next week's episode, we see the impacts of our classrooms in the Morobe province. I'm Hannah Joku. Join me then.
"12 years ago, the Digicel Foundation began its work to improve health and educational outcomes for the people of Papua New Guinea. As the patron of the Digicel Foundation and chairman of the Digicel Group, I am proud of the impact that we are having on some of the most socially marginalised communities in the country. Central to our mission is our ethos that where Digicel as a company grows across Papua New Guinea, so too must the communities that we operate and grow in. To date, we've invested over 135 million kina into 466 projects across 89 districts in Papua New Guinea. From the ambulances we have donated, to the hundreds of classrooms, now at 600, to the programs we have funded, our work has benefited over 900,000 people in Papua New Guinea, and we're only just getting started. We value all the partnerships that we have with schools, health centres, community-based organisations, and of course our Men of Honour network. We believe that Papua New Guineans know best how to solve their problems, and we are proud to work together with you to see sustainable results. Everyone has a role to play in nation building, so we invite you to partner with us to ensure no one is left behind.